Hello everybody, this is General Yanis, and today in Death Card Tactics I will be looking at the theoretical battle of Mortarion taking on the Primarch of the Ultramarines, Guilliman. So we have Mortarion and Roboute Guilliman facing off, the leaders, the legendary Primarchs of the original legions, the 14th Legion and the 13th Legion, the neighbors, let's say, squaring off. So who will be the winner? Let's take a look. So just continuing with some of these let's say theoretical battles in anticipation of our new the Death Card Codex and Mortarion after the unpleasant battle with the Nightbringer I showed you, I calculated last week's. It's time for Mortarion to take on the Ultramarine back from the dead, the poster boy Roboute Guilliman. The Primarchs of the original 13th and 14th Legions will be facing off in a battle to the end, and who will bring glory to their legion or chapter. So let's take a look. So if we start with Roboute Guilliman and his base stats and abilities, Guilliman is at 380 points, so costs less than Mortarion. He also is not a demon, let's say, not a demon Primarch, he's just a normal Primarch, if you can say that. He has movement 8 inches, good weapon skill and ballistic skill 2+, strength 6, toughness 6, 9 wounds only, but this is quite good in games because he can be protected by Lookout Sir. Doesn't help him really in this game. 6 attacks, 10 leadership, 2+ save, and a 3+ invul save, which is really good. 3+ invul save is not so typical in the game. His weapons include the Hand of Dominion. In the shooting phase, he can shoot rapid fire 3. So basically, as an Ultramarine, he can do 2 rapid fire 6 basically with his weapon. At range 24, strength 6, AP -1, damage 2 weapon. Doesn't do so much against Mortarion now with the new disgusting resilience, only being down to damage 1. In melee, the Hand of Dominion is quite strong, so strength double. So he will have a strength 12 weapon, AP -3, and a damage straight 4, which is good. And the Emperor Sword, which has strength +2, so it's 8, AP -4, and damage 3. And this, the Emperor Sword, has additional rules that on an unmodified 6 to wound, it gives an additional D3 mortal wounds. He has the Armor of Fate, which gives him the 3+ invul save, and the one important ability he has is the first time he is destroyed, you can bring him back on a 4+ roll with D6 wounds left. And then you need to set it as close as possible, but not within engagement range, as where Guilliman died the first time. And then he is the 13th Legion's Primarch. So this aura, reroll all hit rolls within 6 inch for Ultramarines core and character using units, and because he's a character, he can reroll all hit rolls. And within 6 inch, Ultramarine core units can reroll once to wound, but it cannot benefit himself to get the 1 to wound. He also has the Master of Battle aura, so he adds 1 to advance and charge rolls, and reroll once to hit for all Imperium units. Basically, he's benefiting from this, but already he has a better reroll here, and basically advanced and charge rolls in this fight don't make sense, or don't make matter. He's also the author of the Codex, as we are learned to know. He then gets an army fielding him, gets additional 3 command points, and basically one stratagem that could be important for Guilliman in this fight is that only in death does duty end for 2 command points. And this stratagem can be used in the fight phase when a character from the army that has not already been fighting is destroyed. And then with this only in death stratagem, the character is allowed to fight before dying. So he can fight one last time if, for example, Mortarion charges him, kills him, let's say, and then he can fight back. And then in this case, he can fight back with a stratagem and then try to revive on a 4+. So I think basically this is basically Guilliman's best hope in this battle. If we look at our Mortarion, so Mortarion, of course, a more expensive model, 490 points. The basic stats, he got the increase of toughness to 8, which is really good. And then he has the yeah, his lantern pistol, 12-inch pistol with damage 3 weapon, and then he has the silence, the big scythe that can do a really high amounts of damage in close combat. He has the ripping scythe where he can make 3 hit rolls per attack with his weapon, and the eviscerating blow, which is very strong, so strength 16, basically wounding Guilliman on a 2+, AP -4, basically going to the invul, and D3 +3 damage. So this can do a lot of damage if not saved by Guilliman. But remember, Guilliman has a 3+ invul save. He's the Primarch of the Death Guard, and then select a core or a character unit to get full rerolls to hit, and he can target himself here to get the full rerolls with his pistol and the scythe. But he has so basically has a 2+ hit with reroll hitting. He rerolls the plague weapons for the wounds, etc. So he will be hitting a lot. He has a toxic presence, -1 toughness aura within 9 inches. Doesn't make much difference, bringing Guilliman down from strength toughness 6 to toughness 5 doesn't really affect any 2 wound rolls here, only for the Phosphex bombs. And then host of plagues, he can select a warlord trait from the plague companies, additional to, I suppose, Arch Contaminator, giving him all reroll 2 wounds with melee weapons, basically the plague weapons, the silence. And here I've selected that he will have gloaming bloat, and that meaning that the warlord Mortarion can only be wounded on wound rolls of 4+. He can cast 2 powers in the psychic phase. He will be attempting to cast Blades of Putrefaction to be able to do mortal wounds on Guilliman in melee. Mortal wounds will help him and bypassing the Guilliman's 3+ invul save, and even with the Nurgling attendants, they can do some mortal wounds even if they are not they don't have so strong weapon, but they could be lucky and maybe pull off 1 mortal wound on Guilliman. And then he will also attempt to use Smite for extra mortal wounds on Guilliman. So if we look at the Mortarion strategy, Mortarion in this battle seems to have a big advantage in melee. He wants to get in and personal to take Guilliman out, and aided by the Blades of Putrefaction for a quick kill if possible. Of course, Guilliman, as I said, has a 3+ invul save. So which profile is best for Mortarion to use in melee? Should he choose the hard-hitting eviscerating blow or the ripping scythe with which can overwhelm with many attacks, but they don't do so much damage? The eviscerating blow, if they go through, they can do potentially, I mean, just 2-3 hits and then Guilliman could be dead. Blades of Putrefaction increase the chance to kill Guilliman in one go, and ripping scythe is more consistent with blades. Without the Blades of Putrefaction, eviscerating blow is clearly better, but of course less consistent. So we see here with the eviscerating blow, the average number of wounds he would be making is around 10, and the probability to score at least 9 wounds to kill Guilliman in one go is 60%. So in 60% of the 1,000 simulations I run here, Mortarion with eviscerating blow can kill Guilliman. If you use the ripping scythe, the average number of wounds is only 6, and only 8% chance to do at least 9 wounds. If we add the Blades of Putrefaction for the eviscerator, because we only have, let's say, 6-7 attacks here, maybe we are getting a little bit more wounds and a bit more chance, 66% chance to one hit kill Guilliman. If we have the ripping scythe with the Blades of Putrefaction, this makes a big difference to the ripping scythe, going from average number of wounds 6 to average number of wounds 10, and 70% chance to kill Mortarion in one go. A full wound Guilliman in one go. So here we can see the frequency, and here is the wounds done on Guilliman. Here is the eviscerating blow and the ripping scythe, and here you can see the number of wounds scored on Guilliman after 1,000 simulations. So you see here is 9 wounds to kill him. So we see with the eviscerating blow, without the Blades of Putrefaction, we have quite big chance to make a lot of wounds. With the ripping scythe, we are doing more consistent wounds, but we cannot do 9 wounds very easily. Here with the eviscerator blow, we have some some chance to only do very little wounds if Guilliman is lucky with his saves. If we add the Blades of Putrefaction, then it definitely improves the ripping scythe. So you see the line moves a lot, because now with 20 plus attacks we will be doing a lot of extra mortal wounds, and we have a better consistency. The Viscerator with blades also improves, but not as much. So basically here we can see that if we have the blades, maybe it's better to choose the ripping scythe, but on average we should be quite consistent in being able to kill Guilliman. If we look at Guilliman's weapons, Guilliman is has a tough battle at hand, and he cannot get the support from other Ultramarine units. He has an advantage in shooting, maybe, but he doesn't have any psychic powers, and in melee also we see that Mortarion basically can one hit kill him. Difficult to kill Mortarion only with shooting. He can maybe shoot 6 shots with strength 6, AP -1, and damage basically becoming 1, especially with a new deer rule. This cannot bring Mortarion down. So Guilliman will be hoping to bracket Mortarion as quickly as possible and chip away on Mortarion's wounds. One thing that could aid Guilliman is if he's killed before being able to fight in the fight phase, he's allowed to use the only in death stratagem, maybe killing Mortarion and then returning back to life for getting a win. What weapon should he use in melee? And he has the Emperor's Sword, and that can possibly do mortal wounds that Mortarion cannot save, but the Hand of Dominion in this simulation seems better. It's less consistent, but it does on average a little bit more damage than the Emperor's Sword. But you can see it's already very little wounds he can be hoping to make on Mortarion that has the 4+ invul save. So 5 wounds or 5 to 6 wounds on average in the fight phase. Yeah, so the battle rules, the models are assumed to be close to each other so that they can shoot and charge from turn 1. They are not allowed to hide or run away. No stratagems or other CP rerolls assumed other than Guilliman's only in death. And Guilliman attempts to revive if killed the first time on a 4+, and is placed just outside of engagement range, and the battle continues. So I have a dice roll simulated, and then we have the psychic phase, shooting phase. If Mortarion wins, psychic, shooting, charging, fighting, and then Guilliman fights back. If Guilliman wins the first turn, he will do the same. He will shoot, he will charge, he will fight first, and then Mortarion fights first, and then on the second turn it continues. And if Guilliman is killed here or any of these phases, if he has not revived, he will attempt to revive, and then the battle continues. And if he's killed in the fight phase here, before he has been able to fight first, he will do the only in death stratagem. So this is the result of 200 simulations, and basically Mortarion has a very easy battle in his hand. Mortarion wins 190 or more, 96% of the battles in these 200 simulations. Guilliman only wins 6 wins, and he gets also 3 draws in which Guilliman manages to kill Mortarion with only in death before finally succumbing to his wounds. In the 9 battles that Guilliman didn't lose, he revived successfully. Basically, he needs to revive successfully to be able to have any chance, but even he has very little chance to win in this battle. So it's not so much a battle as much as a bloodbath, and in most cases Mortarion can kill him in the first round with some smite, some shooting, and then with a viscerating blow and blades or ripping scythe and blades, he basically kills Guilliman. Guilliman, even if he comes back, maybe he will not survive the next turn, or if he is not successful to come back, then basically it's game over. So no contest basically in this battle. So could Guilliman do something to improve his odds? Parenthesis cheat. As the author of the codex, Guilliman knows beforehand that he's heavily outclassed in this battle with Mortarion, so he decides to cheat. He brings 3 eradicators hiding in the audience just short of the half distance for their meltas, giving d6+2 damage. So 3 Eradicators being able to shoot the six shots at Mortarion when it's Guilliman's shooting phase. At least you could argue also this is maybe not so much cheating, because Guilliman is 380 points and the Eradicators are 180 points, so basically bringing it up to close to what Mortarion is costing. So in this battle, in this scenario, Guilliman will not charge Mortarion to allow more shots at Mortarion, and he would fall back when he has the chance to do so, trying to shoot Mortarion with the help of the Eradicators. Mortarion in this scenario just continues as he did previously, just goes after Guilliman. He doesn't jump off the scene to kill the Eradicators first, so he will try to take out Guilliman in any chance. And the difference is, yeah, in the shooting phase he has he can call a lot of firepower from the Eradicators, and he's falling back to allow more shots at Mortarion. So if we do this simulation, then we see that in 135 out of the 200 simulation, Mortarion is still the winner, but now Guilliman, together with the Eradicators, the theoretical Eradicators in the audience, he can still win, let's say, 50 times, and in this case it was 15 draws, so he has a 25% chance of winning. And in the battles that he's winning, 42 out of the 50 that he won, he got the first turn. So he really also needs, even with the Eradicator's help, he needs to go first, getting 1 round more of shooting before Mortarion charges him and makes the very, very big damage in melee. So summary and final thoughts about this battle. So Mortarion versus Guilliman in 1-on-1 is virtually a no match. Mortarion is the supreme winner. He will win 95% of the time. So it's really not a fair, at least it's not an exciting battle. Mortarion just uses a scythe and crushes Guilliman. Guilliman can basically only win with very lucky dice and if assisted by other Space Marine units. So I'm not saying that in the tabletop Guilliman is worse or better than Mortarion, but they have different roles, of course. If we have 3 Eradicators shooting in combination with Guilliman and Guilliman just trying to be defensive and using the only in death stratagem and revives is needed to win this fight. So Mortarion reigns supreme against the Guilliman, but watch out for Eradicators. They can really take a lot of wounds on Mortarion. So these words finalize this video. What do you think about the battle between Mortarion and Guilliman? Have you ever had the Primarchs facing off on the tabletop, and what was the result in your battle? Or did Mortarion maybe not survive all the shooting from the Space Marines before able to close in on Guilliman? If you like this video, please press like and subscribe to the channel, where I'll be posting more analysis for Death Card units, and especially when the new codex comes out, analyzing and looking at all the optimal compositions for units and weapon choices. So with these words, General Yanis is signing out. Stay safe out there, and bye bye.